My trans teacher yelled at me in front of the whole class, just because I said, there's only two genders. She called me transphobic, hit me with a ruler, and tried to humiliate me. I voice recorded everything, and sued her for $50,000. 2 weeks later, she showed up at our door, sobbing. I go to a high school in Southern California, and used to absolutely love it here. But 1 month ago, a new teacher transferred here and changed everything, and right from the get-go, it was obvious that she was trans. In her first lecture, she told us that her pronouns were she, her, and that we can't refer to her with any other pronouns. The rest of the lecture was spent discussing the importance and meaning of pronouns. I just thought that it was an introductory lecture and didn't think much of it. She was going to teach us math next time, and I was really excited because I like solving problems. But the next day, she opened up a slideshow about LGBT history and began teaching that. I raised my hand and asked her if we weren't going to study math, but she told me to sit down and not interrupt the class. However, I considered that a valid question, so I asked if she could answer it really quickly. Our first test was in a week, and we needed to be prepared for it. But our teacher, Ms. Wright, just crossed her arms and started calling me transphobic. She claimed that I was purposefully interrupting the class so I wouldn't have to listen to a trans talk. I denied it because my intention was purely based on academics, and I never did anything to suggest that I was transphobic. By this point, most of the class was seeing eye to eye with me and nodding their heads. The Ms. Wright saw that and yelled at the top of her lungs, demanding that we all sit down and just listen. Her voice was so loud that I sat out of sheer fear and didn't say a single word for the rest of the lesson. Little did I know, Ms. Wright had no intentions of shifting from the LGBTQ curriculum. The next day, she pulled up more slides, this time explaining what genders were and how many were there. After 10 minutes, she said that genders are pretty much irrelevant and that we should pay attention to identity instead. I let out an involuntary laugh, but she heard it and told me to stand up. She asked if I was being transphobic again, and I had to hold back a sigh. I was really reaching the limit of my nerves and ended up saying, "Oh, come on, 2 genders are just about enough. Now can we please get on to studying for our tests?" Ms. Wright completely lost it once I said that. She murmured a curse under her breath and told me to come stand next to her. She started yelling right in my face, telling me that my views were extremely narrow-minded and offensive to everyone. I tried to argue, but she would just speak over my words and didn't let me get a single sentence in. Then, she did something unfathomable. She grabbed her ruler and hit my arm with it. I freaked out and said, "This isn't kindergarten where you can do whatever you want. You can't just hit me like that." She laughed and said, "Yes, I can," and was about to hit me again, but I dodged it. Thankfully, the bell rang, and she just ran out the door while calling me transphobic again. Little did she know, I actually had a plan this time. You see, my friend had secretly recorded the entire thing on his phone and sent the video to everyone on campus. Later that day, I showed it to my parents. Now, I expected them to be angry, but my dad was literally threatening to end her, so I had to calm him down and show that I wasn't hurt. My parents decided to go to the headmaster's office along with me to get that horrible teacher fired. We told him everything and even showed him the footage. However, to our surprise, the headmaster refused to do anything. He said that his hands are tied and he can't fire the teacher without any solid proof. Apparently, video footage of a teacher assaulting a student and yelling in his face wasn't solid enough proof for him. I was about to say something when my dad told me to be quiet and just took us out of